Hi again! In this section we will learn about annotation elements in Revit, and we will start with dimension lines. In this course we have already learned to work with temporary dimensions, but now it's time to get a bit deeper into this topic. To insert a dimension line, I have to go to the Annotate tab, Dimensions panel, and choose one of these types. I'm going to start with the option Align. Now, if you look at the options bar, we have by default the Pick option set as entire walls. This means that we can click on a wall and place a dimension line of its entire length. So it's simple. And remember that afterward, I can still readjust the position by moving these control points to different references. Now, sometimes it suits me better to add a dimension line by choosing 2 points instead. For that, I'm going to switch this tab to Individual References. With this, I can add a dimension line from this side of the wall up to the other extremity. Then click again on the position where I want the new dimension to be located. Let's measure now the horizontal line. If I don't press Escape to exit the command, I can keep adding dimensions as long as I want. Now, I want to start from the left side, but you can notice it's highlighted the center of the wall. The reason for this is that I have the reference lines set to detect the wall center lines instead of the wall face, which is exactly what I'm going to switch to. Now it's working as I want. To finish, let's put also a dimension to measure this vertical wall. Editing dimension lines. One important thing, it's not possible to change the length of the dimension by just double-clicking on it. Instead, it opens this window where I can edit some options. Here I can replace the actual value with text or add prefixes, suffixes, or text above and below. For example, I can choose to replace the value with the text. Type wall 1 and then click on OK to save the changes. But keep in mind, if I want to choose or change the actual value to an approximate number, the program doesn't let me to do it. It says that I cannot replace a value with a different value. Basically, to modify the length of this wall, I have to select the wall first and then click on the dimensions in the same way that I do for temporary ones. Notice also that when the dimension is editable, the color changes to blue. But it's not always possible to change the length of a wall by simply changing the length of the permanent dimension line. If you look at the horizontal wall above, it's intersected with a wall at the left and another wall at the right corner. Then, suppose I want to increase the length to 8 meters. Would it extend to the right or to the left? It's hard to know, so for this reason the dimension is not editable right now. Yet here, without a wall at the right, I select the wall and now yes, I'm able to change the length to 8 meters. As you can see, it extends to the right because there is no wall there. Entire walls, auto-dimensioning options. Have a look at this floor plan. I'm going to insert another align dimension, but this time I will pick an entire wall. As you remember, if I select this wall, I can add a dimension of its total length. Now, in the options bar, there is a button called Options. Click there to access the auto-dimension options. Basically, I'm able to create dimension segments for an entire wall, and this is a very useful feature, and you are going to understand. I check the option Intersecting Walls, and you will see what happens. Click OK, select the wall, and I'll automatically create segments when walls are intersecting. This is very nice because it allows me to avoid adding dimension lines manually, which could take a long time for large buildings, like a hospital or a hotel. Now, if I want to do the same for the wall above, I'll just click there right away. When I finish adding dimensions, I press Escape. Don't press Enter because it doesn't work. Another option is Openings. In this case, I add segments to measure distances regarding walls, doors, or even different kinds of openings. I can choose to measure from centers or widths, and first I'll show you the centers option. Choose this wall that has several openings, and you can see that it measures between the center of each door or window. If instead I choose widths, I'll add a dimension line with segments measuring the widths of each door and window as well as the distance between them.